Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So as you can tell by the title down below, this video is going to be a lasagna and my lasagna recipe. The meat sauce is pretty much similar to my spaghetti bolognese recipe video that I done not that long ago, but it's just slightly different. I kind of never do the exact same thing. It's just the like with spices, I just chuck whatever I have at the time, and things that I think go well together. So I thought I'd film this as well, how I stack it, the side dish that I'm going to be doing with it, which is going to be lemon wedges, and as in the lasagna you got a bechamel sauce, so I will be making that from scratch as well. And throughout this video, if you can hear like it's windy, like heavy winds, I'm not sure if you could hear it or not because of this microphone. I'm not sure if it will pick it up, but yeah, if you can hear stuff, we're in the middle of a dust storm, although it's not that dusty. Like it is a little bit, but Adelaide kind of way got it a lot worse than what we have had it. So yeah, if you just hear a lot of noise and things knocking about, like the shed is like, the shed roof is about to come off, but so if you hear like weird noises, it's just the outside stuff. But yeah, alright, so this is pretty much the ingredients that I want for the actual lasagna. I got two different types of lasagna sheets here. I went out and brought these curly lasagna sheets, but I already had just normal lasagna sheets in the cupboard, so I thought it'd be cool to kind of like lay them up differently. For the sauce, I've got some caster sugar, just a can of crushed tomatoes, and this 700-gram jar of just plain cooking sauce. Garlic, I'm going to be seasoning it with some hot chili powder, paprika, ginger powder and pepper, and some mixed herbs. And then I'm going to be using a kilo of fat meat. I'm also going to add in some onions. I'll probably use both of these onions for this. And then for the white sauce, all it is really is milk, butter and flour, and then I'm going to use these seasonings as well to season the white sauce. And for the sides, like I said, I'm going to be doing some lemon wedges. So I just got potatoes here, so I'm going to peel and cut them into wedges and have lemon and coriander on it as well. And also in the meat sauce, I'm going to add some carrots. I just got these out of the fridge now because I forgot. So I'm going to grate carrots into it. If I had celery, I'll put that into, but I don't. I only really have carrots at the moment, and then I just got some cheese as well to go on top of the lasagna. So this is overall of all of the ingredients. So I just got about a tablespoon of olive oil into this pot heating, and I'm just going to chuck in the onions I just cut. I was going to use my chopper thing that you guys know that I like to use, but I couldn't find half of it, so I just did it by hand. It's just a rough chop. So in the onions, I'm going to add the 3 grated carrots, and I just leave the peel on for the carrots. I do wash them obviously, but it's still going to get grated and you can't taste the peel, and the peel doesn't even really bother us anyway. So to this now, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons, like heaping tablespoons of garlic. Not much left in there. And if you have fresh garlic, definitely use a fresh, but I'm just using what I have at the moment. And then with the mince, I'm just going to kind of break it up in my hand as I add it. And then as it cooks, you just want to kind of break up the lumps of meat and obviously stir it. And then, so we just want to fry it off until all of the beef is just broken down and is cooked and brown. And then that's when we'll start adding the sauce. Alright, so with the wedges, I'm just peeling the potatoes with a knife because I find it easier than a peeler. So I'm just going to cut the 2 ends off and just finally take off the skin. But of course, if you prefer to use an actual vegetable peeler, then do it that way. Alright, and then cut it in half. And then with the smaller potatoes, so the potatoes that are quite small, I just do it in halves again and that's it. But for these more longer ones, it's awkward, but I find it easier. It's safer on the flat side, but I find it easier doing it on the non-flat side. And this is a slight angle cut it down, and then there's the wedge. And then on the point, cut it just straight down. And then you got 2 more. Although that was kind of off and this is a bit thick, so I might cut this one in half again by the point.
It's not.
So Nick ended up adding more garlic. I don't know why, but there wasn't really much left anyway, so it didn't really bother me. Plus we both really do love garlic.
Say when, boss.
I need it all in. And then can you fill it up with some water and then shake it? So that was a 700-gram jar of sauce, and then I just got 1 can of cashew tomatoes. I would normally do 2 because it's a kilo of mince, but I only had 1. So yeah, that's right. And also, yeah, we're just adding water into our containers to get more of the tomato out. Plus, because it's simmering for a while, it doesn't matter if we have water into it. So now I'm just going to go ahead and add these spices straight away. So I went to go peel this up and it just didn't work. Alright, while he fixes that for me, I'm going to add about a tablespoon of paprika. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of ginger. My pepper needs to be open because that's new as well. I'm going to probably add about a tablespoon. So for the hot chili, I'm going to do about a teaspoon of that as well. Some pepper just went in it.
Chili smoke.
And yeah, for the pepper, I'm going to add probably about a tablespoon. But the thing I like about with these recipes, obviously a meat sauce is a tomato base, and with the seasonings, you just add whatever you like, and the quantity is on how hot you want it or how garlicky you want it or herby or anything. So this is just what works for us and what we like. I'm just doing the pepper, by the way, my hands kind of look weird on this angle. And with some dried mixed herbs, I'm just going to rub it into my fingers before I add it in, but I'll probably will do about a half a tablespoon worth of the herbs. Do a little more. And I find rubbing your fingers between the mixed herbs, it just opens up the like little herb. This makes no sense. I don't know my words. But it just kind of opens up and it releases more flavour and more of the scent, the aromatics. I don't really know what I'm on about. I do know what I'm on about, I don't know how to word it. So with this, I do want more sauce, so I'm going to probably fill up maybe half. I'll just start with half of this jar here of more water to add to it. I might not tip it all in. And adding water to a tomato-based sauce is okay if you're going to have it simmering for a while. But if I were to serve this up in 10 minutes with just some spaghetti or whatever, you could taste the water in it. It will be quite watery. So the more you cook it down as well, the more sweeter it will become. But I do like my meat sauce to be a bit sweet, so I'm going to add about half a tablespoon of caster sugar in that as well.
Tomatoes tart.
So I'm just going to put the lid onto this and have it down low simmering, and it's probably going to simmer for about 2 hours. And also every time I were to come back, and every time I'm going to come back to have a check on this to see how it's going, I will give it a taste just for seasonings and add what I find, which I just realised I didn't put no salt in. So we'll do about half a teaspoon of salt. Just quickly mix that in. So yeah, every time you do come, well not every time, but just constantly taste it, because the more longer it simmers, the more the flavours are going to change. Alright, so here I juiced 2 lemons. I just rolled them and juiced them. So I'm going to add this over to the potatoes. And then with that as well, probably about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. and about 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of mixed herbs, again rubbing it in my fingers. So I just added it straight into this pie dish because that's just what I'm going to be cooking these in. And I'm going to cover this, and I'm just going to leave this in the oven for now until we need it. In the pan here I've got 50 grams of butter melting, and then once it's completely melted I'm going to add some flour, a 1/4 cup of flour, and cook out the flour. And this is the base of the bechamel sauce. So for the bechamel sauce or a white sauce, you need to start with a roux, which is your butter and your flour, and then we'll just go from there.
That's how you make cheese.
So to this, I'm going to add my 1/4 cup flour. And you just want this pretty much to be cooking, 1, until it's smooth, and 2, just for a few minutes, just to cook out the flour so it's not so doughy and cakey and just weird tasting. So if you use a whisk like this, as you could have seen, it didn't take that long for the lumps to get out. I still got a little few, but they will go out. So now it's been a couple of minutes. In my cup here I got 2 cups of whole milk. I'm really hoping I don't spill this, but I just want to probably tip about half of it in. Give that a good mix. I really should have used my saucepan and not a frying pan, but my saucepan's got oil in it at the moment. Alright, and now I'll add more milk. Alright, cool. I was hoping I would be able to get all of it in without it tipping over the sides. And I'm just going to mix this gently, obviously, because I don't want to spill any. Now to this I'm going to season it with just a pinch of salt. Pinch of black pepper. And pretty much the same seasonings that we used in the meat sauce. Just that, but just pretty much a pinch or a we just want to use the same, but just a pinch or a sprinkle of the ingredients. Except I might leave ginger out for this. So I just use the paprika and the chili powder, the herbs, salt and pepper. And of course just mix it well to combine it. And we just pretty much want that to simmer up a little bit and thicken up a little bit, and then we'll turn the heat off. And as it cools it will continue to thicken. Alright, so in there I've got the potatoes, the wedges, just cooking. Yeah, they're in there just cooking. I had foil on the potatoes for the first about 30-40 minutes that they've been in for. And the oven is also preheated at 190 degrees. And here I've got everything set out to assemble. So I've got the white sauce, my meat sauce, the curly lasagna sheets, the flat lasagna sheets, and you definitely don't need to use 2 kinds. I'm just going to be using 2 kinds because I have 2 kinds, so I don't know, just something I felt like doing. And some cheese over to the side here. And obviously my dish I'm going to assemble it all together with. And I also just want to mention with the meat sauce, I didn't end up adding anything else. As I was like tasting it, I didn't feel like I had to add anything extra. I feel like it was pretty good how it was. Alright, so the lasagna was in the oven for about 30 minutes, and the last couple of minutes I just turned it onto the grill just to get a nice crust on it. So I've taken it out and I'm going to let it sit there for about 10-15 minutes. And with the potatoes, I just sprinkled on a little bit more salt and some of the coriander I've just stripped off and put it on there on the top there. Alright, so I got my plate of food here. It looks like a completely full plate. It's just like a little side plate because our bigger plates are all dirty and I can't be bothered cleaning them right now. So obviously the lasagna, and I got some potatoes here on the side. As I was waiting for the lasagna to cool down before I sliced it, I tried a potato. They are lemony. I think one lemon would have been more than enough. Yeah, they're very strong lemon flavour, but they're still pretty nice. Alright, so you probably won't be able to see that far away, but the lasagna. Yum. Yum, that white sauce is so good too. I really should have had this cooling and resting for longer. And I think that pasta is a little bit overcooked, but I was hungry. Me and Nick just wanted to eat. We didn't want to wait any longer. That was hot. Having the lemon potato or wedge or whatever with the pasta, the balances of the flavors is quite nice. Although the potatoes by itself are very lemony, and I probably would just do one lemon next time, it still was pretty nice. I'm really happy with the white sauce as well. To me that tastes real good. And the best thing about cooking a lasagna, for me at least, one of the best things is when it cooks up, when you got your meat sauce simmering on the stove, it's just simmering. Like once you put it together, you can still do stuff. You're not spending your whole time in the kitchen. You can go out, do some washing, back in your house, do whatever really, as long as you're obviously still home. And same thing for when it's in the oven. Like it's just in the oven, you can go still do stuff. And then with the leftovers lasagna is pretty good too, because like I said with this one, I'll probably just leave it for lunch tomorrow. And I'm going to make some, I don't know if I'll do it tonight or tomorrow, but I'm going to just use that same dish. Yeah, so when I make the second lot, that would be, I'll just wrap them all up. Like I'll cut it into the slices, wrap them all up, and then put it in the freezer. And because when it's freezer or lunch tomorrow, it's obviously been with its own flavours for longer, so it tastes better. Well, that's pretty much all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this and enjoyed how you guys see how I've cooked lasagna, enjoyed how I do it. I'm really bad with my words today. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Subscribe so you don't miss out on my other videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!